ECS Season 7 finals. But before the break, we saw Vitality take revenge over FURIA for their loss in Dallas as they took Inferno 69. And what an incredible performance from the Frenchmen.
Yeah, they looked very comfortable, right?
Yeah.
They didn't look rattled by anything. And one of the things towards the end of the game when they basically had it secured is they stayed very thorough, right? I was very impressed with when they had post plans and they're dealing with players saving, they're using all the utility, making sure they're not giving away any guns, any weaponry. And right now it appears what Maniac was saying, Apex said earlier, they knew what to expect. Well, this time around they're dealing with it much better than they did in Dallas.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every risk, towards the end, every risk that FURIA was taking was basically backfiring. No opening frag, everyone was always ready on the side of Vitality. And to me, what is very impressive when we talk about mentality is that, think about that pistol round. Vitality lose a 4 versus 1 against Casserado, right? You might think they crumble, that's terrible, that's frustrating. But then they go on 7 rounds in a row, and I feel like they're always one step ahead. They quick very fast, the rotations are here, FURIA unable to surprise them, so just a beautiful first map from Vitality.
Yeah, just to note, with those plays that you're talking about, it looks desperate, but the reason that we can't be too harsh on the side of FURIA for those plays is it's something that they've been doing continuously, right? That's their play style. So when it works, if we're going to praise them for it, we have to look at it when it's not working and go, okay, well, it's just not their day, the timing's off. But they don't look, they look frazzled. They don't look like themselves right here. And when they're going for the plays like Art, I think he was 2 for 7 in terms of opening duel success rate. And when he's not finding the kills, he's a massive factor in getting them into rounds, and he hasn't been able to do that this game.
Well, that is something I definitely wanted to pick up our end of the match on, just 12 kills, which isn't what we've been seeing him do in previous matches here at ECS Season 7. They managed to silence him, right?
Yeah, as we said, I think on the side of Vitality, they knew what was going to happen, and you could clearly see on their T side, they were ready for it. Anytime Art was trying to pick on Banana, nades were here, the bodies were here, the numbers were here. Same in the middle, he tries to pick me, Zaiwu is waiting scope with the SSG, so he could never get the ball rolling.
Yeah, and while we have the scores up on screen, I think something here to note that we really should take stock in is it's not the Zaiwu show. Look, he's still contributing, he's still towards the top, but everybody on the side here of Vitality is having a lot of impact getting it done. RPK as well, he can be a player critiqued for not getting it done, but when he gets his chance to sit and deliver, we saw that in the first half, able to be quite impactful.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned, because that structure here is the same as what happened in the semi-finals. So you have the 4-pack with, Alex and Zaiwu being 1 and 2, but very close to the rest, and NBK a little bit in the back. But this seems to be a formula that works for Vitality.
Yeah, 100%. Just in that second half, FURIA were only able to secure 2 CT rounds, and it's going back to those issues you were highlighting, saying if they don't have those CT rounds on point, it's going to be a problem for them.
Yeah, and I think that when you look at the way that they're approaching plays, trying to get an early pick, they were trying to take map control with, Art had a couple of rounds where he tried to pick towards top mid. If he's just getting blown out of the server within the first 15 seconds and you're in a 4-on-5 situation without any utility, what are you meant to do, right? Because that's when you need other individuals to step up. The difference between yesterday and today for FURIA was FURIA weren't being pressured. They felt like they were getting the map territory that they wanted. They were able to stack 4 over towards that bomb site. Here, they weren't able to do anything of the similar scenes, and I think the scoreline reflects that.
Yeah, 100%. Alex obviously stepping up massively there, being the in-game leader and being able to get all those frags on the table.
Oh yeah, he started a pedal to the metal, really went crazy right from the get-go, having 3 frags, 4 frags in very important rounds. So I think he was a main factor in setting Vitality in there. I'm going to say it again. I think the first 10 rounds was a good showing of what kind of phase Vitality was going to show today.
Yeah, 100%. You picked up a round on Inferno. It was a 4K from RPK, I believe.
So just to put some context to that round, we said, or Chad said, that FURIA wasn't exactly showing their true face in that game, and I agree with him. I agree with the sentiment. They had a few rounds at the beginning of the game, the first half, where they clearly had the opportunity to make the difference, and I believe that because they threw them, because they kind of dropped the ball here, it put them in a really bad position. So I picked a round where the beginning of the round was absolutely beautiful for FURIA. It's actually Vini we're going to see with a triple kill, but what is interesting is what they do after. They didn't seem coordinated, they didn't seem decisive. The FURIA that usually push the ball and push the advantage straight up just didn't happen in that half.
Let's get it up. Let's bring it up. Let's summon it. Let's use the magic powers that be.
Talk about it?
Well,
be
I
nice
can see it right here in front of me that it could potentially be coming any moment. So.
Well, Maniac, if you can describe those.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go. Beautiful.
Beautiful
Technology is here. So we have here right at the beginning of the round, Vini with a beautiful job, 2 opening frags onto Banana. You would think at that point the difference is already made, right? Alex is going to try to get that back. He gets traded. That's a 4 versus 2. The B side is taken. So the T side, that is a perfect situation.
Yeah.
And then the problem for me is if you look at the overview here, there is no decisiveness in what FURIA is doing. We don't really know. They took a lot of time just to go to B, but because of that, RPK is going to be able to isolate duels. That's not supposed to be the case. He peeks on the flash, gets the kill, obviously, and then once again, one by one, RPK is eliminating his opponents. When you're 4 versus 2, you're supposed to play the numbers. You're supposed to make sure that anyone behind you is ready to trade you, and that just wasn't the case. And to consider this was at the beginning of the half, to me, was an alarming signal.
Yeah, because that's when they started to lose, I guess, a bit of confidence, right? And here we're finally getting to see this is the team we talked about. What they've done is impressive regardless. Whatever happens here, it's fine. But for them to get to this point and now start to feel pressure, that's kind of what I expected at other stages, right? That's what I was expecting to happen to them over in Dallas in the earlier stages against, even in a quarterfinal against Vitality there, I expected this to happen. But hey, if this is it, if they're going to lose here to a Vitality who's looking much sharper, I can't be too unhappy with that one.
Yeah, well, exactly. And there is a very special somebody who is there supporting FURIA. Obviously, it'd be very disappointed with that map performance. But fear not, we still have potentially 2 more maps to go all the way. Obviously, Neymar there supporting his boys.
Wait, is that Neymar took that picture?
Yes, yeah. Neymar took that photo.
So cool.
Absolutely
that is
incredible.
So cool.
They definitely got a huge fan base behind them. And I mean, just down in the crowd as well, I was just sitting out, I know you were as well, Maniac, just sitting out in the arena, and everybody's going absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
for
FURIA definitely have some fans. Obviously, the crowd is for Alex, the crowd is for Vitality, and I decided to watch the first time right in the middle. I like it, that fuel and all that energy.
I think when we now go into Overpass, it's the way that FURIA are looking that is the issue, right? Because if they're frazzled, that just goes into every map. Because the cool thing about their gameplay, historically, or what we've seen in recent times, is that they don't hesitate, that they just make a decision and they run with it, right? Because it seems very suffocating when you're swarming your opponents. But here, if they're going to be second-guessing themselves in like that highlight that we just shown, it's going to be a very big issue because Vitality are ready for everything at this point. They seem really switched onto the game plan. I think, what did we see a lot yesterday from FURIA? They're doing a lot of long on their T-play. They were going along to abuse North setup. So maybe they've seen a similar situation, but this is one of their weaker maps, one where rotation is probably more essential. They can't swarm in the same way. I think it's probably going to be a 2-0.
Well, before we head into that map, let's take a look at the latest Pinnacle esports odds and see where that is leaving us. Obviously still, well, heavily favouring Vitality there. It is their map pick, so it does make sense.
It makes sense. I mean, when you think about Inferno was FURIA's pick and the way it happened, I think not only the scoreline, it just seemed to me like Vitality were in control. They made statements saying, we know what they were doing, now we have a plan for it, we are ready, and they showed it on the server, and as Chad is saying, rightfully so. If FURIA is not showing a different face on Overpass, I think the fate is sealed already. That Vitality is a championship team.
Yeah, because you can see their game plan quite clearly, right? When they decide to do something on their T side, they stick with it for an extended period of time. What they were doing to North by pushing long, they did that consistently, right? What they were doing was conditioning that A hold, so they had to split the defense. They had to play at least one player over towards long, they had to play one towards the bathroom. So it's curious if that game plan will be the same, or if that's something that Art and the coach here, that they decide for each game. So we're going to see how that evolves in this one, and if they can recoup, that's the biggest thing, if they can bounce back and be a little bit more competitive than they were in map 1.
Well, that's something I kind of want to pick up on because we know FURIA, they are incredibly good at doing their research, right? They're incredibly good at getting their heads in the game, getting focused. Do you think they'll be kind of prepared coming into this map, knowing that Vitality are going to pick it as they played it against North?
You want to hope so, right? I think Overpass was a sensible pick. Honestly, on the side of FURIA, you could see it coming. What is scary for me is their CT side, and I hope they have put some research and thoughts into it. When we saw them play, I thought they were a little bit too one-dimensional, maybe, and not able to cover the whole map, because Overpass is a very technical map. You need to move around. You cannot cover everything, so you need to decide where you go, and you need to move. And I thought that FURIA, during that event, and even in Dallas, they were a little bit too stuck in one position, and then they wouldn't really rotate around.
Sure, and just looking at their game yesterday, they were putting a lot of responsibility on Art to hold the bathrooms late round on his own with the ADP. He was basically on an island there, so if you're Vitality in this situation, you could be pressuring him very late and potentially just trading 1-for-1, and the bomb site's going to be yours. That rotation's not going to get there quick enough. So these are some little things that I'm sure Vitality have identified. And the way that they're looking right now, I see it as a very difficult task for FURIA to even get into this one.
Well, and I mean, we've said that they enjoy playing against more structured teams, right? Do you think that's kind of throwing them off, going up against Vitality, who have these this ability to have the explosive players on the server?
I just believe that for FURIA, and we are talking about how crazy their revolution is, well, this is the next step. This is when you go up against a team that is ready, that is prepared, activated, and know what you're going to do. So on the fly, you need to come up with a new plan or just minor adjustments so that your play isn't that readable. I'm not asking for them to change everything, because this is not how you go about winning finals. But you need to have that little wiggle room where your timings are slightly different. Maybe you're 3 people instead of 2, and you throw them off like that. You take the edge. That hasn't happened on Inferno, and it needs to happen now on Overpass.
I think this is just experience for both teams at this point, right? FURIA are learning on the job, whereas Vitality have been to this point with the majority of their members before. This isn't something new to them. It's obviously new in this entire journey, and I think right now they just seem laser focused on this. And Alex is really thriving off the crowd, which is seems like it's elevating him to a new level, at least of consistency, right? Over the last 2 days in front of the crowd, he's been showing some fantastic form, and that, like Maniac mentioned at the top of the show, this segment, could actually just be the key, right? This could be the key to Vitality being more of a force.
Well, we are almost ready to get into our second map of this best of three, but first, make some noise for your wonderful casters, Bardolph and DDK.
Make some noise for host FURIA, how about that? Welcome back. We are moving into Overpass, and I think it is most certainly an uphill struggle now at this point for FURIA. I think Vitality have to be the favourites at this point.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying.
For this map, obviously, they're 1-0 up, for this map as well.
I mean, and individually, they're performing really well. I think, of course, they just highlighted it on the desk. FURIA, they did have a more comprehensive game plan when it came to Overpass. I think it felt like they kind of went to desperation mode a little bit too soon on Inferno. Obviously, they didn't get off to the best of starts. So we'll see if things can be different here on Overpass.
All right, Vitality will be defending to start off. RPK with the smoke and diffuse kit once again. And a lot of utility for FURIA. Art, Abel, J, Yuri, all with grenades. Art's got a P250 as well. That makes me happy. Often smokes lined up on the pole here. We'll go into the middle of the site, which can cover some angles from the balcony position. That one's gone a little short, though, as you would stand in front of the barrels for it to go in the middle of the site. But looking to burst in case there is a defense here. So far, so good for FURIA.
Yeah, it's a nice take of the site. Zoe will pick off one towards the back, but it's okay. Oh, actually, no, the bomb's lost. The bomb's actually lost towards sewers at this point. This stack, okay, I'm not sure if Zoe was seeing that. He must have. I mean, he got the kill, so they know the bomb is there. In fact, they'll rotate Apex through connector from the bathroom. So Alex is already there as well. This is not a good spot to be in. FURIA having to retake sewers, and that's difficult because the choke points are tiny to get into that position. So this is going to be pretty brutal. K-Serrato is coming in through A, so they're going to try to wait for him. And they're going to need him to really synchronize, and he can perhaps create some distraction. But look at this. How do you get through this tunnel, James?
How do you solve this? Walking into a crossfire. Finney's trying to figure out what the best angle of approach is. It's basically a three-man peak on the way. RPK has a smoke grenade, but he's inside connector, so about to start moving. Looked into the other end of connector. He's got to get taken out here by K-Serrato. Okay, now we've got a man advantage. Finney will have the information at the very least of the crossfire. K-Serrato trying to do what he can, and now he's alone. Alex to dispatch of him. 3 kills for Alex. Start as you mean to proceed.
Yeah, that's a beautiful round there from Vitality, but you got to think that it must be an oversight to an extent from FURIA as well. They pushed the bomb site with 3 to 4 players, but the bomb is just, here it is. It's just, it's not with the push on the bomb site. It's just hanging out in sewers, kind of watching for a flank. But that player cannot have the bomb there, so that must be an oversight. A mistake there from FURIA is going to cost them everything here. At the for the first few rounds at least. As you can see, that they will get the scout onto Art, but nobody else has invested anything. He's got a smoke and a flash as well. So let's see how much damage he can do in this round. His teammates will all be buying up fully in the following rounds. So Art just looking to keep some pressure on. Perhaps lull Vitality into a full sense of security. Let's see if he can get anything here. Will there be a boost or any shenanigans here from FURIA, I wonder? Lots of stepping there. MBK will hear that, and indeed the boost coming in, looking towards the bomb site. Gonna have to connect the headshot though. As soon as the scout is announced, that will change how Vitality peak.
Yeah, they've heard the scope already, so sniper divider will be the call. So we will not show to it. Sorry, Apex. Because the NBK will eat the flashbang, not seeing it early enough and getting nothing out of it. But Zywoo is in a good position with the Orc to simply delete. Reload required. In that case, Rato's left. At this point, you just want to, if you could get another kill, that would be huge. You'll get a tag. Apex trying to fall back. I like the wallbang attempts. Those are very sprayable dividers, but it'll just be the one frag for FURIA. So far, so good for Vitality. 2-0 on the CT side. Comfortable.
Yeah, everything is looking like it's going according to plan for Vitality so far, but here it is. we see as Art was the only guy that spent any money in the previous round, he's going to pick up the Mac-10, but his teammates have Kriegs and AKs and full nades. So ultimately, you know, it does work out pretty well, and there was definitely a world where Vitality would have lost more players in that previous round. MBK's rocking the auto shotgun, so you can imagine he'll be playing around the connector position with that one. And indeed, he will be going straight down connector, and he's going to have some fun here, perhaps. He's got a bunch of players coming his way. How much can he get from this shotgun? But he's alone. There's no one behind him to trade quickly. MBK gets himself 2 off the shotgun. That is a fantastic result. Lots of money in the bank, and that is not the way that FURIA wanted to start this round.
That's a whole lot of money as well. Godbu's quite infamous for taking a shotgun down there on a round such as this, and now MBK tries to do the same. Handicapped FURIA's push. 4 versus 3 in favor of Vitality. Apex is making inroads towards long, looking for information, while Alex just spots the toilets. So there should be a good idea for Vitality that B is incoming. Apex moving towards the party position. If they're confident in speed and hold rotation. There's the pop flash through the smoke, but it's going to hit a player. RPK will still get blinded though, moving towards short B, and no one's there. Zayu again with the organ. There is the wide swing from RPK with the MP9, and that will be another round in the bag for Vitality. 3 players surviving. We'll see if Apex can upgrade his SMG. He can't, but it's not a big deal. They've got the clean sheet.
Yeah, I really liked FURIA's pop flash, but it looked like the pop flash from Zayu was even better as RPK finishes off everything. And some really good work there from Vitality here. Their basics are looking really on point at this moment, and they'll go up 3-0. So scouts back out for Mr. Arts. And he has a pistol ensemble to join him.
All right, not the start FURIA wanted. Desert Eagles are out. Art is having a nightmare of a series at the moment. Not ideal with the scout, but it is an eco round. Again, a question of damage. Playing for the long term, FURIA. They can take some guns away. They get 2 frags, that's good for about $12,000 of damage. So again, this can be very, very key. No tag on that jump peak. Maybe some nerves being had by FURIA after they have to be surprised at having lost Inferno. Always ready to pick it over Mirage as their first map. Surely thought it was a given, but here we are.
Yeah, I was surprised about the Mirage situation as well, considering that FURIA had said, you know, Mirage nukes the 2 maps there, so it's super incredibly comfortable on. But you have to consider your opponent. Quick flash over the top there for Apex. The peak, he picks off 1, sees more. And there's peak from Zayu. Easy does it for him. Getting himself lots of damage there on the spray. And FURIA have very little to do here. And I like how Vitality playing very conservatively here. The objective for FURIA was to, as you mentioned, just get damage in. But they have so far failed to do so. And they are being hunted at this point. And they will be finished off and still yet to get any damage. Can K-Serato change that story though? Can he pick off at least 1 here? We'll have Apex moving more closely. There we go. The headshot comes in. Is there another one coming in for K-Serato? No, there is not. But the damage will be minimal.
At least they got something out of it. It looks so claustrophobic the way K-Serato was holding there. About $6,000 per person for Vitality, or more for the most part. RPK's a little short, but they've done very, very well so far, Vitality. The 4-0, they've survived in numbers. They're trying to pad out their economy, and again, FURIA on the buy, not much left in the hole. They need to be successful. Horrible start with the shotgun in connector. This time they're approaching the short B position. They've got the smoke. They're moving forward for a fast split. They weren't shy for the fast rounds on Inferno. Maybe we'll see the same here, and it seems so. The site's being cut in half with smoke grenades. Now, do they wait them out? No, there's a big charge from Art. The W key being held all rounds by Art. It's not really working out for him, though, at the moment. RPK holding that barrel position, being conservative with his bullets. And it seems now things might start to slow down, at least for FURIA, but not for Vitality. 5 versus 3, and it starts to get worse, running out of bullets, but here is a trade frag, and there is the round. 5-0 for Vitality. Not feeling too challenged just yet.
Yeah, that push looked like it was going to work out really well. Vitality had a 2-man setup on A long, and those players were still on A long when FURIA hit the B-bomb site. However, Vitality reinforced the B bomb site with those players, which really just goes to show how long Vitality were able to keep hold of the water position and just hold on to the bomb site, which shouldn't really happen. So really good, that's a mixture of really good utility work and team play from Vitality to slow down the push so much. Because that was a great round to run from FURIA. They punished the fact that Vitality are playing this long setup, and I think, Sponge was highlighting on the desk, if you watch FURIA's demos, their defaults against North consisted of 2 players going towards long, almost every round in their defaults, and that really conditioned them to hold players towards that long position. And FURIA have a different approach to this game, which is the way you want to do it, but for some reason they're just not getting these, strategically things are looking like the decision making is good, but they can't follow up with the execution, James, and that's a problem. They're not hitting enough shots there so far. Back on the scout for Arts.
Yeah, these crappy buys, not really getting anything out of them at the moment. That Molotov towards T-ramp can be quite a nuisance. Many T sides will throw a smoke into it, which slows them down quite considerably. They've got to clear the party area, but FURIA will sometimes just run through it and ignore it to some degree. Take a little damage for earlier position. Now, FURIA could get close to the A bomb site here. There are lurk smokes you can put in front of this angle, so you really can't see anything if you are Vitality. But that's not being offered right now by FURIA. Now, if they did do that, again, they could burst with these pistols, or at least try. There's a re-smoke from Vitality, but again, it looks like it's going to be the raw peaks. A hand is spotted, and there is Vinny taken out. Here comes a stream of grenades, but can they get close to the site to try and plant in the first place? Apex denying them for now, slowing things down, 4 versus 3. And there's Zaiwu to pick off Queserato. Yuri on 1 HP, now he's none HP, and it's down to Abel J, and that's not going to work out either.
Vitality are reading the game really well there. One of the things that I mentioned earlier is just the idea of basics. Vitality's basics are really strong at this point, and FURIA are not able to defeat that. And one of the things is that FURIA's playstyle is very fast, and Vitality are finding a lot of mileage out of just playing passive because of that. Because if you play very aggressively against a team that plays very fast, you can sometimes get run over or caught out of position. It can be difficult. But if you play passively, then you can catch them out. You can catch them making peaks. And that's what's been happening so far. And Vitality, obviously, they are really hitting their shots. Can't really emphasize that enough. Everybody's turned up here so far for Vitality. FURIA need to find a resurgence, and they have to find it quickly here, James, because they will go down 7-0 if they lose this round. They'll be back on a half buy again.
Yeah, this is a huge round for FURIA. They really need to get onto the winning column pretty damn quickly. PDQ. NBK comfortably spotting the long position and the long half of the toilets. You can see this big presence from FURIA. This is the lurk smoke I was talking about. You can throw this from the short B position as well. So if you want to get close to the site without Vitality, well, to keep Vitality guessing, that can allow for situations like that. Apex is being taken out. And all he's seen is 1 player. He doesn't necessarily know that there are 4 around A, although Odd has gone to pick up the bomb.
Oh, NBK caught peeking, and now it's down to Zaiwu. He gets eliminated as well. Okay, here we go. FURIA start to deliver the frags, and this is a non-starter for Vitality. They don't get a single kill, and RPK is just chilling by the B bomb site. Not really all that much he can do in this position, reasonably. And so this is cool. So FURIA, showing, okay, if you guys are going to play passively, we're going to creep up on this A bomb site. They make the picks work. Now, are we going to see Vitality change their tune now, based on this? Will we see some aggression from them? A sewers, it could be something light, like a sewers take, or a more forward bathroom setup, or they could go a bit crazy, try to push connector or push the fountain, or go for a monster push. Like, these things are available to you on the CT side. So I'm curious if they'll change things up, or if they'll just keep doing what they've been doing. Nothing wrong with that either at this point. It has worked out very well.
They've got about 2 buys in them, Vitality, so there's a lot of work for FURIA to do. A hell of a lot of work. But there we go. Denial of information forces the jiggle peaks from Apex because they can't see because the smoke is up, the lurk smoke. Now, on this occasion, they had 3-4 people around the A-bomb site. If they were to continue to take toilets and then put that kind of thing up, you could have one person there, you could start to fake with it, but it may require a lot of work to take toilets, especially with 2 AWPs coming out for Vitality, an instant change in approach, Zywu and NBK, and you can see Zywu will be playing around the toilet position, NBK on long with the AWP, so both towards A, using that range. And this time we've got a slow start from FURIA around playground and so on. So this will be a much slower approach, but CONGRATULATION has taken short B pretty quickly and shown some presence there with some grenades towards Graffiti.
I think this double AWP setup is particularly scary, I think, for FURIA. Zywu looking to push the bathroom's position, or at least find some angles towards the divider. And some more noise there. So perhaps investigating behind the flashbang. See what he can see. Goes for the peak. And Art will get out of dodge. So we'll definitely hit that footstep. And there's the incendiary as a response. Time is beginning to tick away. RPK with that D position, slightly elevated towards Monster, very annoying to deal with. And so he's still just waiting so patiently for any sign of any player towards short. He's had a footstep, he's had a flashbang. 40 seconds to go, and looks like they're going to try to fake towards the A-bomb site here, and it might actually work. There's 3 players there, James.
Yeah, but RPK is still holding in one of those really annoying positions, which is a problem to deal with, but they will go 1 for 1. Alex got a flash for himself. Is it going to be successful? It is. He could get 2. He will. That's the bomb as well. And look at the time on the clock. And Molotov up on short. He's seen a short player. He has so much information and position. How on earth can FURIA possibly recover from this? This is not the reason they were looking for. They've got so much to do. Only 12 seconds to do it, but maybe there's a chance. Art's got to plant the bomb. One spotted by Graffiti. He's got 7 seconds. He needs to get on this. He can't fail. He's got to plant this in the smoke. Able J trying to hold things down. Can Art even escape the smoke? Around the pillar now, and somehow they clutched around. They were in such a horrible position. How have Vitality lost that?
Yeah, that's amazing work there from FURIA, and that is the kind of play that you need to see because they need to get their heads back into the game right now. I think they've slowly but surely been getting deflated here, but a beautiful performance from both Abel and Art to save this one. So awesome to see, and hopefully that revitalizes the entire team.
There he is.
If the play didn't, I'm sure that scream certainly did.
That is a battle cry. That guy's ready for war. I think that was a 2 versus 4 outside of all the choke points on short B, with the bomb down inside Monster and a Molotov on the short B position for a time. So that has got to rock Vitality somewhat.
Yeah, they played it really well too. I love how Alex, he gets those 2 kills, and does he peek short after that? No, he doesn't peek. He knows that he can play the time. And there was no time. There was no time at all for FURIA, but they just made the plays in the last seconds that they possibly could to just barely clinch it. So they're back in this one. They're back in this one. They just need to win 1 more buy round, and then they'll force Vitality onto an eco, and then before you know it, it's going to be 4-6, and we are really on for a more competitive game as far as the scoreboard is concerned. However, they must win this round to stop Vitality and their momentum. In case CONGRATULATION will take Suez quickly.
The French have started with 4 players in the B bomb site. Maybe these fast rounds that we saw from FURIA on Inferno and now on Overpass have put some fear into them. You spoke about monster pushes, and here we have one. However, Art would have heard this flashbang, and he's creeping, but is he going to have the angle? No, he maybe wasn't expecting that whatsoever. There is a trade, though. 4 versus 3 for FURIA, so they have their advantages moving in, but someone's got to go and get the bomb. We've got NBK outside. He's above connector, starting to poke in. Now, where does Yuri go? If he goes back through connector, surely they're going to lose the bomb. He's got to go the long way. Going through the smoke, they're throwing around towards short B. A triple kills, then that's going to leave Yuri alone. That is a disaster for FURIA. Look at their lost bonus. This is the round to break Vitality. They've been snapped like a twig.
Yeah, this is really rough, and I think Vitality are going to predict what's going on here because they haven't heard anything, and there's some deductions to be made, and they can likely guess it's going to be going towards A. And, oh, Yuri had the crosshair placement, but he was still running when he took the first couple bullets in that engagement. And indeed, FURIA, they had, what, a 4 versus 3 that absolutely got blown up towards a short position. Great performance here from Apex. Look at him go. He FAMAS out, smoke out. and he's just going to lock them down. They couldn't get in front of the smoke in time to actually have an engagement, and Apex just obliterates the round, and that was such a critical one. Of course, there is still money for FURIA, but Vitality, they're still looking good here. Still a lot of fight in them. That said, their money's actually still very, very vulnerable. So FURIA is still with a chance to force them onto pistols. And oh, look how quick he's going up towards the barrels peak, the peek from short into that B-bomb site. Looking to find something, but he's going to be given up. His position at least will be given up by the tagging from the Molotov.
NBK was in connector, but he went back quickly towards the Divider, which was quite smart because Yuri was threatening to go up top, but right now he's looking for potential flank in long, and Vinny was very quick through connector. So there is the flashbang, which you bounce off the light, so if anybody's holding an angle by Divider or the flower bed, they're forced away from their position. And in the meantime, we have an opportunity for Art to try and get a pick. Vitality playing further back, trying to avoid some variance if FURIA go for something crazy, and they certainly are. You've got the crab walk coming in. And Alex is up top, and he may soon see something. There's his head, but he'll pop Able J. Now, there's time for a rotation. 4 players heading towards the B-bombs, like getting into deeper connections. They've got the water position. Alex and Apex. Apex moving around the side, taking Art out. The frags are all coming for Vitality. 4 versus 2, 35 seconds. FURIA have clutched before, but this might be too much to ask. Yuri moving into the short B position and thinking better of it. It just hasn't gone their way. And we're looking at 8 rounds for Vitality. A stronghold on the CT side of Overpass.
And it's going to be so frustrating for FURIA because especially, you know, as you say, with 4 surviving, they're going to be out of economic danger. There won't be that sense of urgency. They'll have a buffer of money, and you know, FURIA will not be able to push them onto pistols and, you know, pick up one of those more kind of free rounds, I suppose, when you know your opposition is ecoing. So FURIA can't seem to catch a break here. And again, we saw this on Inferno. Vitality's individuals are performing immaculately, and especially Alex, 11 for 2 right now, leading the charge. Well, I was about to say head and shoulders above his teammates, he's not, but he is performing incredibly well, anchoring these bomb sites like a champ. And you know, you talk about the Zywoo factor, and it doesn't feel like it's been needed so far. Obviously, Zywoo's delivering, he's doing his job, but you know, we haven't needed to see that crazy ace situation or you know a really big clutch from him. He just has to do his basic job. Everybody's performing from the French side. FURIA with only really the AK here as far as rifles are concerned. Okay, Serato desperately trying to find something, some kind of an opening.
It's another round where Vitality start with 4 players towards the B-bomb site. They are expectant. Pretty rare you're going to see a rush towards A, and they're not concerned too much with playing the party area. We've lauded FURIA's T sides over many, many matches, but it seems that Vitality are offering a unique challenge. If I remember correctly, FURIA 16-8'd Vitality the last 2 times they met. Maybe the only 2 times they met, I'm not 100% on that, but yeah, this is looking like a very tall order for FURIA at the moment. They don't have the best weapons. Vinny with an MP5 over the MP7. That's not a good idea. Grenades coming into the A site once again. Vinny gets taken out with a wallbang, it seems. Apex will deliver one. Nice and easy. Plenty of CTs here, and FURIA are going to get nothing out of this, it seems. Yuri would love a headshot, but he will be denied. Again, Vitality back to winning in numbers. Nobody lost. Money can be built for the late rounds in the first half.
Yeah, it seems like it's really difficult, or well, not impossible for FURIA to really get on these bomb sites if they don't get a pick earlier in the round. And because Vitality is playing this very passive style, generally speaking, and especially when there's a half buy, as we saw there from FURIA, they can't get that. It doesn't really seem to be a way for them to get that pick that they need, especially when there's no AWP in play on Art. I mean, that seems to be one of the key factors to allow FURIA to get the openings that they need to really break these bomb sites. Vitality's defenses has been really incredible. Zywoo, he's not been tested too much here, and that will be an easy one for him to pass.
It can't be 2 rounds for FURIA. It can't be 2 rounds on the T side. It feels like it's going that way, but they've got to get more than this. Serato charging through connector with the bomb, coming up to join his teammate. Zairu's taken out. NBK in the smoke, sees nothing. And there's an open A bomb site. Still 3 towards the B area. They'll hear the rotation of Apex, but they don't know for sure just yet that the site is clear. And Vitality, it seems, will give up on this one. Alex rotating. Is it just to create some space to save for the late rounds? Or are they thinking of something? I think it's just a save here for Vitality. I'm pretty sure, indeed. They're quite spread out. And it will be just a 3rd round for FURIA.
Yeah, it's looking very difficult. I mean, you could even commit Alex to try to go and get some kills here. You know your opponents have a weak economy, and that'd be really painful for them. And Vitality have quite a lot of cash, but I do also like the idea that Vitality have been winning so many rounds when they're playing against the buy of FURIA that they don't even need to think about FURIA's economy that much, just because as long as they have full guns, they can deal with pretty much everything. So I actually like the fact that they're not even looking to risk their weaponry. Alex might have a slight engagement right at the end here, potentially. Maybe not. Yuri does stop short. So 3 rounds for FURIA, 9 for Vitality. If FURIA gets 6 games, I'll be very surprised with how things have been going. This was a gift, I think, for AbleJ. The timing just not working out for MBK. Of course, the pick on design was really nice, but need to see more of this.
2 members of the winning team will join Parla on ECS After Dark on the Caffeine stream, which is caffeine.tv/faceit. So as soon as the final broadcast is over, then tune in over there for some further thoughts for the eventual winners. Now, if FURIA could get 6 rounds out of this, that would be the biggest lifeline, because they have not really been in this one. It has been all Vitality with a few variants rounds, like that one in the smoke, which allowed them to take the A bomb site. It has been dominant for the French-speaking side. FURIA attack has come and gone, and we are looking to see if Vitality now can take it to 10 rounds to double figures. Maybe that would be casting a big shadow on the faces of FURIA. If Vitality got to 10, we shall see. We've got an exchange of Molotovs towards a short B position, and again, a faster pace. Now, we've seen many rounds where Vitality have had 4 towards B. This time they have 3, and they've picked the wrong timing, because now there's a straight push from FURIA. No grenades, no warning, no nothing whatsoever, and they have got to trade FURIA.
Seems like that might be the way to crack open this bomb site, but they have to take more control here. We saw players ready, and Alex from the short position. He can't be stopped. A quick 2 kills, and that might just completely kill this rush entirely, because the bomb is out of position. It's not made its way to a plant. I think they've missed their window to plant this bomb. As he looks for some frags here, but he'll get eliminated by MBK. Just AbleJ left now in a 1 versus 4 with the bomb down out of his hands. There's fire all over it. There's smokes down on the other choke point as well. This is looking hopeless here, and they didn't even get the damage change. They didn't get the pressure on Vitality's economy once again. Vitality I don't know how they're doing it, but they are always just coming out so well against these rushes.
Dismantled by routine in that round. No one in that short B position. 3 kills for Alex. He will take them in kind. Gratis frags, which indeed will put Vitality on 10 rounds in. All AbleJ can do is walk away and wonder what could have been. Again, we've seen it from different teams so far, just the dry peeks into the monster tunnel, trying to abuse the numbers and so on, but no one taking care of the short B position. I don't know if these are on the fly, and they just, I mean, again, we talk about the T side for FURIA and the level of detail on Inferno, for example, on the T side. If you have a CT smoke up just in front of the site, they'll have HEs to bounce by the barrel position. So nothing can be taken for granted, but in this situation, I feel like maybe it's being done on the fly, because there are clear holes in the push. To have 2 players on site taken out from a position like that by the sandbags just looks really, really bad. There we go, Vitality make it to 10 rounds now. Opportunities running out for FURIA in this first half, but they do have another bye.
They do. And indeed, it does look really bad when Alex is able to just pick up 2 free ones there from short, but here we go. Default from FURIA, and indeed, we don't see the same defaults that they were using against North so far. And Vitality have adjusted. The long portion of the map is being completely ignored, and that's a nice pick from Art. That's actually something the Krieg is really good at. When you push monster, you try to get those picks. He'll get a smoke down for pressure, and he'll fall back. But I wonder if Alex will hear all of this.
As you could see on the radar, he's turned to follow the direction of the sound, and there's 2 for ZywOo. Nothing going the way of FURIA at the moment. That is absolutely brutal. A slight clue, maybe just enough preparation for ZywOo to expect some players to come, but you go for 1, you get 2, and just what can you do, FURIA? Nothing working their way in this first half. They sell the fake, they bait Vitality into a rotation, they start to move towards A, and a double frag will just slow everything down, almost to a complete halt.
It's hard to watch, isn't it? It's hard to watch. I feel so bad for them. Just when they start to get an advantage, they start to get stuff going. They don't lose 1, but they lose 2. That is so brutal. But here come the pop flashes. Maybe FURIA can still bully ZywOo off of this bomb site. Well, looks like that's not going to be the case here. He'll take down Art. He's got support as well. Down to AbleJ again in an impossible situation. 11 rounds for Vitality. FURIA are struggling.
Military precision from Vitality. This is just nasty. Lining up, both taking tickets. Seems they took the same one. 11 rounds for Vitality, and let's see what FURIA are able to buy in this last round of the first half. We do have some rifles coming out. There will be perhaps some limitations on the grenades for Art and AbleJ, but the buy is reasonable. But you don't have those signature Kriegs, no plural, just a singular, just the 1 on the Yuri, and 3 Galils in order to get some grenades. NBK will get taken up towards connector again. He has been fast in connector and fast out. This time he will be denied though.
Yeah, another opening pick here coming in to the hands of FURIA. Perhaps they can build off of this one. Vitality, but already with 3 players towards the A bomb site, so they're really feeling it. So I'm going for a deeper peek, looking to investigate and see if there's any presence in the bathrooms. FURIA slowing things down a little bit, but here comes ZywOo, and he's going to get one, of course he will. And there's no trade. ZywOo is 2 shots this time for the 2 kills, and 3 unanswered frags going the way of Vitality. FURIA needs something. Keiserato and Yuri left to try to deliver, but it's ZywOo all the way, taking down absolutely everybody. And now Yuri, again, there's so many situations like this, James, where look at how hopeless this is. What can Yuri possibly do from this position? It's the last round of the first half. Gonna find a way to win it, and he can't. Alex shuts it down. 12 rounds for Vitality, 3 for FURIA.
ZywOo is 19 for 4. That is a dominating statement from Vitality. Will it continue in the second half? Find out after the break.
Introducing the ECS Premium Pass. The unique viewing experience allows you to get further into the action. It enables you to focus on any player within the game and even the ECS official observer. Subscribers will have access to interactive HUD, detailed statistics on all players and an improved minimap, and much more. All Faceit TV Twitch subscribers will receive full access to 11 additional streams for the ultimate CS viewing experience. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe now for only $4.99 and watch CS the way you want to.
Took my heart and made it colder.
Oh, God, it's looking really bad for Furia right now. They need your energy, Wembley, because they are suffering at the hands of a Vitality that is looking like a very well-oiled machine. That is brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brutal as those odds. Those odds are absolutely crazy. You said you need your energy, but these guys are firmly behind Alex for the most part. There are some Brazilian fans here, but I think they are outweighed by the English, the British at the moment. Vitality looking to close this one out in devastating fashion as they move to the T side. So we're with 2 flashes and a smoke. There will be no P250 for the Ts. 4 players of Kevlar, K-Strato, smoke, and a kit. Usual stuff. Art is in no man's land now, and he's not going to win that duel. He sees 2 players, maybe sees, he definitely sees the bomb on Zyru, but there'll be no crazy rotation. A lot of players in Connector spotted by, he sees 3 people. He'll deliver 1 kill, but surely Vitality get the race car on now.
Yeah, they have to. Furia going for the fast rotation. They know exactly what's going on. It'll be very difficult to stop this, though, because they're going to be firmly out of position. However, it's a pistol round, so you never know. I mean, case in point, on the first map, we saw what K-Strato could do in a hopeless 1 versus 4. It's always possible in a pistol round. So we'll see what Furia can offer up here, but the bomb is down. It has been secured. That money's in the bank for Vitality, but can they close it? Out they go from Bank Furia. Can they get the kills that they need? Zyru shutting it down there with the help of Apex. Just K-Strato left again in a 1 versus 4. He picks up 1 kill, but there's 3 more players to find, and this is looking very, very difficult here for him with this USP. Finds another one onto Zyru. K-Strato, 22 HP, has to find more. MBK jumps around the corner. It's not gonna happen again. K-Strato will be silenced. Vitality pick up the pistol. They're 13 for 3, and I'm afraid for Furia right now, James, because Vitality are 3 away from lifting that trophy.
I was afraid for NBK jumping at K-Strato like that. I mean, maybe he wants to prove a point that he is a human after all, but he almost wasn't. Trying to claw that one back. Indeed, 13 for 3. We have a force buy for the most part. Art's left $1,000 in the bank for an AWP should an opportunity arise later, so he's got no Kevlar. Having a look at the aggressive style of Art hasn't really kicked off in this final just yet. On the back foot, Furia from start to maybe finish on Overpass. 3 CZ75s, a Desert Eagle for K-Strato, and that Scout for Art. Vitality will take map control, make sure that they have every possible push held down in case one comes. They know that Furia will be very desperate in this situation. But Furia wait. Art has rotated all the way from A towards the B bomb site, so they have practically no vision towards A at this point. So if Vitality head towards A, I do wonder what Furia will choose to do.
Yes, this is a very classic anti-eco, anti-force buy round where you send almost everybody up long. Of course, you don't have too much to worry about. You can face all together, so it's very difficult for the CTs to deny you positioning. And once you get those forward positions, you can just execute onto the bomb site with Molotovs, with flashes, with smokes. And in doing so, you keep everything very safe. Even if they know you're coming, they won't have anywhere to stand, as there'll be flames everywhere. So that's the idea, at least. Art's going to be really careful. They're creeping up behind this smoke, and he's going to have to go behind the smoke himself to keep himself safe. But K-Strato will emerge from a smoke, and they are getting just taken fully advantage of here by Vitality.
Yeah, nobody was in position on the A bomb site apart from Art with the Scout, really. Apex had the off angle on Party for anybody coming out of Connector, took care of that, and that's the round over. At this point, there's nothing more for Furia to get from this. They might as well hold on to what they have, and they will try to do that. But we're looking at 14 rounds for Vitality. It's going to have to be a spectacular CT side if Furia are to do anything, and it may be against match points.
Yeah, that's the reality. I mean, the beauty of Counter-Strike is that it's not over till it's over, but so far, Furia have been, it seems like there is almost a systemic sort of issue for them here today against Vitality. One thing that Vitality have been doing so well is just playing really solid CT Counter-Strike, just keeping things fairly passive, just having very tight defenses on the bomb sites. And obviously they have incredible individuals, and every single one's been delivering. And that's something that Furia can sometimes rely on, is the fact that they can overpower their opposition with superior individual ability. But Furia right now, we're missing that key piece that can tie it all together, which is Art.
Tactical timeouts at the moment. What on earth do you choose to do in a situation like this?
Yeah, it's really difficult because it's really difficult because you kind of want to just roll the dice in this situation, force buy, and give yourself 2 not good chances versus having just 1 chance and putting it all in on that against match point. But at the same time, you're playing in the grand finals. It's hard to make these calls, these decisions, and they're actually going to go for the conservative choice, the full save. I know many people that would go for the force buy twice in this situation, so for an aggressive team like FURIA to go for the save, you can see they've really thought about this. They've got Art still on that scout. He can't find anything just yet, though. And another thing about Vitality is, you know, I talked about their basics on the CT side. On the T side as well, they've been playing really tight against these eco rounds, these save rounds. They've been doing a really good job in playing it to a T. Very disciplined approach, very diligent. And it looks like they may go for a very similar, well, maybe exactly the same round as before. Just take everybody up A long. Art can maybe get a tag here, but there's not much more he can do without risking his life.
Yeah, but he's got a risk. He needs to get some tags for his teammates to follow up upon. Les one, running away from the rank 4 team in the world at the moment, Vitality. The resurgence of French Counter-Strike seems to be here. Deploying these smoke grenades. Great spray from NBK, knows the angles despite being blind. On the dice will be Vinny. Can he find 2? Jumping, Zybu says no, but there are trades here. Mabel stays on his own now, creeping around the smokes, but he could only do so much. 12 match points for Vitality.
Art's going to pick up his first AWP on the second half here, and it's got to be impactful. They've got to find something. They've got to dig deep. And one of the things about FURIA as well is that, you know, they've had an incredible run in the last, you know, couple months and to get to this point. But this is really where, you know, some of that tournament, that stage experience can really come in handy to help you fight your way back from these kinds of positions. You know, Astralis really made their name for that during their era. And here we go, Vitality will take over Suez very quickly here. It's looking like a somewhat of a default setup from FURIA's CT side. Art holding down the A side of the map by himself with the AWP. Yuri rotating in towards B perhaps to assist this B bomb side defense.
Is it really possible? 12 rounds in a row just to stay alive. 1 round at a time. There's another smoke. Will it be well timed for Vinny? No map control outside of, well, beyond the B area for Vitality. So they're more or less committed. NBK checking for a flank just in case. So this is a smoke which lands in the middle of the site. Stand in front of the barrels, throw it from top of the pole. Helps cover the balcony position. And there's Vinny taken out. Doesn't start very well, doesn't get any better. Too many people to trade. Yuri and Art's out of position, moving through the connector area. This could be the end for FURIA, or could it? 2 very, very fast frags. They're not over this just yet. They'll survive for now. Art and Yuri alive. FURIA still alive.
Oh man, how did they turn that one around? That looked done actually after that opening kill. Looked like Vitality we're going to be able to, you know, find a way back in there, but here comes Keserato. And that double was everything. And Yuri with a double as well, and they're not easy. I mean, those 2 kills from Yuri, that's not easy to pull off. You got to get that first kill really quick, and then it's basically a 90-degree flick. So that was the perfect storm there for FURIA to defend that. But honestly, Vitality had the advantages. So how many times can FURIA do that? Vitality are asking the question because they're going to go back into B even more quickly this time. Opening kill for NBK. The return from Keserato. How much can FURIA do here?
Yuri is on a very long flank. He's moving forward, and we've still got Vitality stuck just inside the monster tunnel, so he could get a lot out of this once this smoke disappears. He sees one up one to the right, but of course it's Zywu. Who else? And there's Alex leaving Keserato 1 versus 3. The best player to be in this position, surely. It looks like he's going for a very long rotation. It is match point after all. He's got to go through the toilet so as not to give the sound cues away as Vitality start to move into the B bomb site. They don't know where he is just yet. Going down the connector stairs, and Apex is waiting It's going to move into the angle, but K-Strata might look the wrong way. Apex, can he deliver the kill? He can! Vitality win ECS Season 7 Finals, London 2019. Led by UK man Alex, they are your champions.
What a beautiful rise for Vitality. This is absolutely fantastic. They performed as they had always intended to perform. They've been rising up the ranks tournament after tournament, and the experience, the tenure of these players, the history behind this French squad, it's amazing. The old meeting the new, James. You've got Zywoo, this incredible talent meeting an incredible talent, let's say, an NBK and RPK from Source to Counter-Strike Global Offensive. This Vitality lineup is finally delivering the results. And French Counter-Strike is really back.
It really, really is. Rank 4 coming into this tournament. Fantastic performance from Vitality. Zywoo 25-4-6 in that game of Overpass. When your opponent only wins 4 rounds, you might not be dying that many times. Beautiful performance from Vitality. Commiserations to FURIA. They were a revelation in this tournament up to the grand finals, but it's all Vitality now.
What an impressive performance, James. I am truly blown away. So much to take from this tournament, but it is indeed the Frenchmen that stand tall, ready to claim what is theirs. Vitality have done it! The ECS 7 champions!
One absolutely unbelievable performance from Vitality, absolutely destroying FURIA on that second map. I can't believe they managed to do it so convincingly.
Well, to be honest, Vitality, when they were 4th in the ranking, they said, maybe we don't really deserve that. I don't really know. Well, let me tell you this. This was a top team performance, top 5 for sure. Absolutely amazing, individually, always present. Zywoo clearing all the A side, no mistake. That was beautiful from Vitality.
Yeah, destruction, I think, is a good word to summarize this one. I think you bang on there. And when you can see it's a statement, right? You saw them play last time around in Dallas in the quarterfinal. This is a grand final. They have the experienced players. They have Zywoo. I think he's going to get the MVP for this one pretty easily.
Yes. There's no discussion.
This will be one of many for him. And look, the storyline for FURIA is this young team. They've come together. They've basically rocked the Counter-Strike world with the way that they've approached it, but they've come to a point where they lack experience, and that's something which is only going to come with time. It's only going to come with these options. Whereas Vitality, they've had this opportunity, they've made the most of it, they've got the victory on the board, and they've made it look easy.
Well, exactly, and a lovely point to bring up that they didn't know whether they deserved that top 4 spot, but I think this certainly cements them as a team to be watched.
Absolutely. I mean, the journey to being an established top team is a long one. You need to show up at one tournament, then you need the second one. They did it again here, and that was very convincing.
Well, speaking of which, we have the wonderful Smix down on the stage with Vitality, ready to see what they make of that one.
Thank you very much, FURIA. Congratulations, guys. What a phenomenal performance here in London today. 2 weeks ago, you guys captured everyone's attention by winning Beyond the Summit, and today, the French resurgence in Counter-Strike is cemented as you get yet another title in 2 weeks.
Good. I said it was coming home.
Coming home, indeed. And MBK, it's been almost 2 years since you were able to lift a trophy, especially in front of a crowd like this. Your teammates are looking different now. You have a different leader with you. What is it like?
I mean, I guess it was good bringing a Brit in. Worked out pretty good in the end. So I know it's good. Yeah, as I said, I think that's the basic thing we're gonna say. It's been a lot of work, but it's worth it.
Alex, last week when you guys played against them, it was a 2-0 loss. Today, you're able to take revenge on FURIA with a very convincing 2-0. What was different today?
Our coach stayed up till 6:30 this morning making a plan for them. So thank you to him, to our analysts, and all the backroom staff who helped us out.
And of course, last but not least, of course, this crowd has been amazing for you guys. You guys have so many fans that have also been cheering for you. Last words you want to share with them?
First off, thank you, obviously, and I'm going to leave the words to the guys that you're all cheering for, so he has the last words.
Last words? I'm not good with this. Thank you, everyone, for coming. You've been amazing, and I hope to see you soon.
There you have it. Once again, give it up for your ECS Season 7 champions. It is Vitality!
Thank you so much for that one, Sue. Again, just an unbelievable performance from them. We said this was potentially a series that had the potential to go all the way, to go to 3 maps, and they managed to take it in 2 swift, convincing wins.
Yeah, different looking FURIA, right? And here's the situation with this one. It's going to be a team who will lift trophies in the future, right? FURIA is someone who are going to stay on the map, but right now it's a massive learning experience for them. They've been just beaten. They've been destroyed in this grand final. And now when you look at Vitality, you look at the arc for this team, you look at what they've been able to do, picking up probably the best French player of all time if he continues this kind of form down the track, right? You can compare him to the likes of Shox like Kenny, but what he brings is a full package right now of a well-rounded individual. And then you look at the arcs for players like Apex and MBK, right? They've had to go all the way down to the bottom of the barrel and start again. And this project has been something that they've been pouring themselves into to get back to this exact position. And they haven't given up, right? There's obviously been woes throughout. They've had to change the roster. They've had to move things around. And their most recent piece of the puzzle, Alex coming in, has clearly been the key to get them where they need to be, and that's back towards the top of Counter-Strike.
Oh, very much so. I think this Vitality success is the result of a shift of consciousness in French CS. We came from a perspective where individualities were making the difference, but now we see them, they work as a team, they have the ethics, and they have the result.
Well, and it must feel sweet, especially after Dallas, right, to be able to take them down again in a 2-0 series, but this time it was Vitality.
Yeah, it has to be frustrating to have lost in that quarterfinal, but this must feel so much sweeter. The trophy is all that matters, and a big victory like this, they will remember.
Well, you can see they were absolutely ecstatic, them just walking out on the stage there to lift a well-deserved trophy. Some absolutely phenomenal moments throughout that whole series. And of course, all these beautiful replays brought to you by NVIDIA. And I mean, there's a lot that we can begin to break down there, especially from Zyro. He looked absolutely phenomenal in that entire series.
I mean, the impact that he had just tactically and individually is massive. When you think about how we posed the context before the game, we said FURIA, they like to pressure the A side, A long particularly, and then they will shift towards the B side. Well, guess what? Zyro was making no prisoner. No one could ever cross bathroom or banana position, even long. He had such an impact that he basically forced FURIA to then go to B, but by elimination. Not because they wanted to switch things over or surprise Vitality, but because they had to. So Vitality were ready for that.
Yeah, this is just a whitewash, right? You look at the scoreline in this game, it's not even close. They paddled the bottoms right there of FURIA, and I think, you know, props to Alex for his impact in an individual sense as well. Obviously, in-game leading, that's a gargantuan task when you consider where this player has been or he hasn't been at this level. He's learned very quickly, and then he was having some huge impact, multi-kills over towards that B bomb site, shutting down any push that was trying to come on in. So for me, he gets a massive honorable mention, whereas I think Zyro will be taking home the MVP cake of this one.
Yeah, undoubtedly. I mean, 2 things I want to pick up just from seeing that medal ceremony there. 1, RPK is, again, an ECS champion. He's lifted the trophy. He lifted it in the first season. Now he's back in Season 7 with an entirely different roster.
And 2,
changed. Obviously, Zyro was up there on the stage for the Face It Major in the show match. His first game on LAN, which was pretty insane to see. He won that, now he's won this. So 2 victories, right? See how ecstatic they are to be able to lift that trophy. It's absolutely awesome.
There's a lot on the calendar now, right? Like we're visiting a very, very busy period of the year where it's great to see teams reaching these heights and getting it all together, because some of the top dogs, they've been taking breaks, and they maybe won't return to their former glory. So this could just be a little bit of a handover period. We know what Liquid can do. Vitality here coming on in. If they can continue to build and grow and add to this, this could just be the beginning for the French, and could just be the revolution starting up again, because it has been some time. Well, it's been 2 whole years since we've seen anything really promising. And I think that these boys can be proud, especially Apex and MBK, for having the gusto to go back down and do it all again, right? Because a lot of other people would just call it quits. They would just, I don't know, do a happy.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, they're going to become a threat, right? We're seeing, I mean, just looking at the scoreboard here, obviously Zyro is unbelievable. He's on godly form right now, but still MBK coming in, Alex especially coming in. They're all putting it out when they need to, right?
I mean, obviously, when you look at the stats from Overpass, this was just a perfect performance. Everything is working for you. You have the moves, you have the individualities. Whenever you're getting tested, you best your opponent in a 1v1, obviously. So, yes, this is beautiful, right? We cannot really take that as a frame of reference forever, but this was a whitewash.
Well, Alex only died 4 times. They only lost 4 rounds.
MBK 1 time.
Yeah, like what?
It's 15 ratio.
Oh, that's his assist. They've done the
oh
columns.
man, okay.
Getting ahead of yourself there, maybe.
They're trying to confuse you with that one, all right?
I take it back.
That would be wild if he only died 1 time in the entirety of that matchup right there. But yeah, I think if you're Furia, you shouldn't be disappointed. You're obviously going to be disappointed that you didn't put up a fight, but considering what they've achieved in such a short amount of time, they should be very happy with the future, because what they've been able to accomplish here is something that, we don't see it so often that a team can do it in back-to-back tournaments, and they've been able to carry that through. Most of the time when a team comes in and a playstyle that no one's played against, it's a one-dimensional thing that can get figured out from tournament to tournament. Here they've been able to carry that through. They've been able to show some fantastic form, and I don't think they'll forget beating Australis twice in the same tournament.
No. Well, gentlemen, you predicted it right. Zyro is obviously going to be our MVP of this tournament. How could you not give it to him after that superstar performance? But he's also going to be awarded a HyperX X Factor of the match. And I'm very excited to see what clip this is, because there's been a lot of moments, right?
Yeah, could have had just a highlight reel of Zyro.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Oh, it is.
This is a whole tournament reel.
many actions.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I guess you're about to see why this guy's picking up the MVP, because not only does he do the primary AWPing role, he can get it done no matter what situation he's in, with the pistols, with the rifles, clutching, no matter what, this kid has it all. And you think about this, we were talking about last year as the changing of the guard between the old and the new. Well, it's happening more and more so, whereas these young prodigies are just popping up every week. We've had Obo as an individual, obviously Brolan over with Fnatic. You had Rops coming in with the Mouse Sports team. Now you've got Frozen over there. Zyro is another name. These are the names that will take Counter-Strike to the next level. This is the future, and the future is here now, and I'm just excited to see how much more they can continue to deliver.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he is only 18, right? That's what's so scary. He is so young, and he's only really been on the squad for, what, 7 months they've been together?
Very, very shortly,
Which is incredible, an incredible performance.
I think Chad said the word prodigy, and I think this is a word that I would use carefully when talking about a player, but Zyro would definitely partake to that category. I mean, the fact that he always seems to be one step ahead, always understanding what is happening around him. Obviously, he has the mechanical skill to act on it. He's always calm, and he's so young. He has a margin for progression still now, and he's already, in my mind, one of the best players in the world. All he needs is the trophies to back it up.
Yeah, well, there's a few players, probably Simple's one of them, who needs that major trophy as well. But yeah, for Zyro, right, I look at this. When you think about Counter-Strike, it's just a puzzle-solving situation with a lot of moving parts, right? And for somebody who, realistically, you could have been playing Counter-Strike for a long time. You could when you were a kid, but to play at this high level when it's become so much detail, so much is being looked into, and for them to be able to do this on a consistent basis, it's completely different as to when we were playing, or like the prime of CS when we looked at it, right, when it was just run around and see what happens. This has got so many different layers to it, and that you're getting this kind of performance, it's insane.
And that's the thing, that's what's so exciting about it, is what is holding the future for Zyro, for Vitality as a lineup. They are, I mean, they're set to be competing with the greatest, right?
Yeah. Well, they're going to probably, I don't know how much wiggle room there is in the rankings right now. I think if you're fourth, it's going to be a bit difficult to go higher than that with Australis there, Ents there, and obviously Liquid, right? So they might have to just be content with number 4 for now until the next tournament rolls around.
No, but you said it. What is very interesting looking into the future of Counter-Strike is the pressure that is on some of these teams that are up there. Obviously, you think about Australis. They had a difficult time here. Navi have just made a change. We don't really know what phase they're going to show, and we have teams like Vitality, like FURIA, who show the teeth. Really, obviously, Ents and Liquid are obviously up there, but it's just very exciting to see what's going to happen in the future.
Well, exactly. I mean, you mentioned FURIA there. We have to give them credit where credit is due. They were absolutely phenomenal this entire tournament. Unfortunately, they couldn't secure the win in the grand final. Vitality did take it 2-0. I'm kind of disappointed we didn't get to see Vertigo, because that would have been an incredible match to end ECS Season 7 finals on. Vertigo. The person that wins that is lifting the trophy. I thought that would have been a phenomenal moment, but you know what? Vitality weren't about that. They wanted a swifter 2-0 there.
Yeah, they wanted to keep that graphic looking nice and clean, right? And all the games as we made it to the playoffs being the 0-2 variety. But something to note with FURIA here is, right, I put a stat out on Twitter not long ago with the amount of LAN games that they've played as a team, the majority of which have been played in 2019 alone. And then I looked at Art's overall LAN record in terms of being recorded on HLTV.org. He only has like 70 plus games of LAN, which is nothing when you think about it, when you look at all the other names, when you look at all the tournaments going on. So this is just the beginning for this FURIA team. They can go back to the drawing board, they can check things out, they can learn from this experience. I hope that they keep the flair and the fire that they have, because that's the most exciting thing about this team. And they can add more depth, they can add more strategy, and they can continue to grow, because I think they have a fantastic base now, and they've shown what they can do. I think invites will probably be rolling their way for future tournaments.
Yeah, you'd like it to be the case.
They'll be
I think they deserved it. They qualified for Cologne.
Yeah.
I might go in, but I think they do. So exciting times for FURIA. All they need to do right now is, as Chad said, evolve, take this experience, and become better and better.
Well, it's certainly not over for either of the teams, and it is certainly not over for us. In fact, we have our After Dark show hosted by Parla over on Caffeine. So head over to caffeine.com/faceit to see some exclusive behind the scenes content. Yeah, and the band. Okay, the band are epic. You need to go over there just to have a look at the band and stay for some very, very special guests, and obviously an exclusive PC giveaway. But that's all we have time for up here on the desk. I think all I want to say to you guys is thank you so much for being my guests up here on the desk. It's been a fantastic tournament, and thank you for everything you've been able to bring to the table here.
Oh, we're not bad sometimes at talking at Counter-Strike, but thank you, Freya. This was your debut as the host of the Counter-Strike desk. How'd you find it? Were we nice?
Amazing, yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, thank you so much for everything you brought forward, and obviously Pimp and Halver as well, who I know are eagerly watching in the green room. But that's all we've got time for. Thank you so much for joining us up here on the desk, and good night.